This video looks at the iconography that can be used to identify one of Jesus Christ's apostles in Christian art. Jesus Christ had 12 apostles, and when he is depicted alongside all 12, or 11 if Judas is missing, then one of the apostles, known as Saint Thomas, can be identified by his reaching forwards to touch Christ's wound at his side that he sustained when he was crucified. This event is described in the Gospel of John, a part of the main Christian text commonly known as the Bible. While other apostles were willing to believe that Jesus had died and been resurrected, St. Thomas claimed that he would be unconvinced until he had himself seen the imprint of the nails that had been used to hang Jesus on the cross, as well as thrusting his fingers into Christ's flesh. When Thomas finally saw Jesus, he was encouraged by him to reach hither thy hand and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing. While it is often assumed that St. Thomas touched the wounds in art and poetry, as we will see in these examples, it should be noted that the scriptures do not directly say that he touched the wounds. This is a painting by Giovanni Battista Cima da Conegliano, known as the Incredulity of Saint Thomas, and is dated to 1502 to 1504. The rich colors of this large painting were designed to create maximum impact. Commissioned by a confraternity dedicated to Saint Thomas, it shows the moment that the doubting saint was convinced of Christ's resurrection. We see him place his fingers in Christ's wound, checking that Christ had indeed risen from the dead. In another example of the Incredulity of Saint Thomas, this time dated to 1602, we see that the artist has chosen to depict this event by having Thomas directly insert his finger into the wound caused by a spear. The painting was done by Caravaggio, an Italian painter who was active in Rome for most of his artistic life. This painting is now in Potsdam, Germany. A more symbolic version of the same event can be seen in The Incredulity of Saint Thomas with a Donor by Giovanni Battista Bertucci the Elder, which dates to approximately 1510 to 1512. Here, St. Thomas raises his finger to touch the spear wound in Christ's side, which is represented by a fold in Jesus' garment. St. Thomas's finger, the kneeling donor's gaze, and the parallel lines of the paving all point to Christ's wound. In this relief from approximately 1150 of the Common Era, we see Jesus in a central position with Thomas at his right side, while around him are a further 11 figures. This relief is in the Romanesque cloister at the Abbey of Santo Domingo de Silos, a Benedictine monastery in northern Spain. St. Thomas is believed to have moved outside of the then Roman Empire to preach the gospel, and he is considered to have traveled to India, where he is believed to have reached as far as South India, and is still considered to be the patron saint of India by those who follow the Christian faith. In more common vernacular, St. Thomas is known as Doubting Thomas, and represents the need for evidence in order to believe something. Depictions of this moment, known as the Incredulity of Saint Thomas, show Thomas reaching forwards to insert a finger or two fingers into the spear wound Christ had sustained on the side of his torso. Some artists focus on the actual insertion of Thomas's hand, while others show a more symbolic version with Thomas pointing to the wound.